Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, January 15th, 2023, after 3 p.m. Eastern. Think the thought that is unthinkable. Think the thought that is unthinkable. Practice the deed that is unperformable. Speak the speech that is inexpressible, and be trained in the discipline that is beyond discipline. Buddha. Remember, Buddha means enlightened one. The great hidden secret to finding bliss in our lifetimes boils down to one simple thing: keeping our minds focused on what we want and off of what we don't want. The great hidden secret to finding bliss in our lifetimes boils down to one simple thing: keeping your mind focused on what you want and off of what you don't want. The longer we can hold our attention on the feeling of being open, relaxed, receptive, and appreciative, the more often bliss-filled experiences manifest into our world. Bliss is always found in the last place you'd think to look, in the stillness of purely being here now. For that simple reason, very few discover it, as many cannot sit still. This awesome experience of pure being can be found within us now. We don't have to believe anything or think anything to find it. We simply choose to be still, relax, and open up to this entire universe. Stop all physical activity. Sit naturally at ease. Do not talk or speak. Let sound be empty like an echo. Do not think about anything. Look at experience beyond thought. Your body has no core, hollow like bamboo. Your mind goes beyond thought, open like space. Let go of control and rest right there. Kalapa. The greatest bliss within us is the place that has no boundaries, no rules, no fears, no personal agendas, no agreements with anyone. It simply is open to experiencing life, feeling into everyone and everything exactly as it is. This openness is deeply eternal loving. It accepts everything as it is. It is a state of perpetual openness that cannot imagine being closed. The experience of infinite joy or bliss comes from this openness. It is an energy that is always abundant, generous, giving of itself, and effortlessly feeling the natural positivity of this life. This bliss is selfless because it's connected to the ever-present, all-knowing, always connected oneself, the pure source of creation. The smaller ego part of us that is perpetually desiring this or that is temporarily extinguished. The bliss feels too good as it is perpetually giving itself away. The intrinsic value we will receive from lasting even just 10 seconds of bliss is so amazing, so healing, and life-transforming that it's not something anyone can put into words. If the state of ecstatic bliss feels too intangible and otherworldly to grasp, it's because we are unwilling to let go of this world. We are clinging to our thoughts, which contain impersonal problems or personal issues. This clinging, in a way, creates heavy feelings such as debt, health issues, relationship problems, buried childhood traumas, being on time, motivation for work, etc. You get the point. These issues are the stepping stones to step through the pain, choose to uncover this divinely magical energy inside of us. Bliss is a state of freedom that occurs instantly when we have released what was once tight or heavy inside ourselves and opened up to a lighter feeling of expansion and spaciousness. We feel the lightness of our being, our light body, which is the spiritual essence of who we truly are. This is our spiritual path, the path of lightness, where our main job is to welcome each experience of this life, then go beyond it. Every thought we have is our ticket to come home. When every idea, desire, judgment, sensation, or belief that passes through our minds is instantly released, it gives us a constant experience of lightness and expansion. Don't cling to any thought, any belief, or concept about who you are, what the world is, or anything at all. And bliss will follow you like a lost puppy. Believe it or not. Yet, we signed up to be free from our pain. We did not come here to earth to just remain in pain and continue to suffer. Blissful feelings are our destiny in this lifetime. We wouldn't be here right now if we weren't ready for it either. We've just gotten used to our pains, tolerating them by carrying loads of heavy rocks in our backpack up deep, long, enduring mountains. Now our job is to learn how to unload them all and enjoy the journey back home. The heavy negative life experience we've had in the past are there to give us direction. Think of them as intelligent guides who are giving us the wonderful experience of becoming lighter and freer every day. If our past is filled with anger, then it's teaching us forgiveness. If our past is full of sadness, then it's teaching us to find appreciation, joy, and love. Whatever heavy pain you're holding on to is your teacher, forcing you to dive deeper into your truth so that you let it go and feel the pure lightness, weightlessness, joy that comes when they are gone. To bring about peace means to be free from thoughts and to abide as pure consciousness. To bring about peace means to be free from thoughts and to abide as pure consciousness, or manam reishi. Deep inner bliss doesn't have to be a lengthy process. Bliss can be experienced in a matter of a minute if we're willing to do the work. This means a deep self-exploration and honest feeling into what we're holding on to. What's the story behind your pain? What's the feeling behind your story? Let both of these go, and you are free. Just make the argument with yourself to let go of everything that is weighing heavy on your mind. When we constantly are choosing in each moment to let go, then any sticky old pains don't have as much temptation. They cannot lure us to believe they are who we are. By making the choice to become a let-go-aholic, your life can only become lighter and freer. This path of letting go creates a very expansive, spacious, welcoming mind. This type of mind is the best welcome mat you can put on the doorstep of your home. Every thought is welcome here, yet cannot permanently stay. This openness towards every thought, which has no rejection inside it, naturally contains an infinitely expanding happiness inside. When our minds are truly open and welcoming to any thought, any emotion, any experience, then this universe takes this as a sign that we are ready, are trusting, open, and ready to receive something truly amazing. This is the day when this universe graces us with a life of unending bliss. And we can always choose to take steps that aid us or empower us to find bliss wherever we are, no matter who we think we are or what life situation we may be in. And the first step is accept yourself as you are. Accept yourself as you are. If you want to find the greatest divine bliss inside you tonight, the first and perhaps most important step is to start with accepting yourself and your life exactly the way it is right now. Do not think about what you need to change, improve, and get rid of to make you or your life better. Just start with accepting everything inside you exactly the way it is, and know that within this feeling of self-acceptance is love, which is the greatest gift you can give you. By deeply accepting yourself, it becomes easy to slip into appreciating yourself. And you soon begin to see all your opportunities for growth, problems, as exciting adventures to explore. Flipping on the self-acceptance switch as often as you can, light the pathway to bliss, as the love you let in will advance your soul light years on your inner world. Self-acceptance is the first essential key to get your happy engines spinning and start blasting open the door to bliss inside. And let's take the next step. Be aware of your addiction to suffering. Be aware of your addiction to suffering. Whether we want to admit it or not, on some unconscious level, some part of us is addicted to suffering. Now, addiction may be a strong word here, yet it is essential to see the repetitive patterns we've created within us that creates perpetual struggle, strife, and mental and emotional challenges in our inner world. The thoughts that our minds are constantly thinking about and can never find peace with our biggest addictions to suffering. Worries, fears, insecurities, judgments create a majority of the internal battles and self-sabotaging patterns that people can experience hourly. These suffering habits tend to be very sneaky and are often the main reason why most people believe they cannot enter this ideal state of bliss. Once we've looked inside ourselves and come to know ourselves and identified what our habit is, we can transcend it. The moment we do, we will find ourselves slipping down the slope of joy. And oh, what a ride it is. Can you see how the unraveling of all of this conditioning, complete unraveling of all of the lifetime, all of the suffering, all of the pain, all of the disappointment, something you may find interesting, and we've heard this before, but a lot of people, I don't believe it registers with them, or I don't believe they believe it. That through experiments, 99% of our worries never come true. Isn't that right? 99% of our worries never come true. And if it did manifest, were karmically unavoidable. It is said that worrying is praying for what you don't want, and basically it's just negative thinking about the future. Worrying is praying for what you do not want. And basically, it's just negative thinking about the future. The worrying habit, and none of us are exempt from it. None of us. The worrying habit is often the hardest habit to overcome, yet can be easily transcended once the mind stops believing that holding on to these vital concerns are key ingredients to maintaining a successful life. Once we are conscious in each moment that each one of our thoughts manifest into our lives, and we can only think positive about ourselves, the future, and we start to feel like a living, breathing success. As we realize how this habit is merely an unconscious addiction that keeps us powerless and irresponsible for our divine manifesting power within. We will completely release this pattern of suffering and try out something new. Let's take the next step. Let go of any attachment to being right or happy. Let go of any attachment to being right or happy. Now, you may not realize it yet. Much suffering is created by being attached to your beliefs, opinions, and thinking that these will make you happy. What would happen if no action, person, or thing in your outer world created happiness for you anymore? There's totally nothing. Where would we find happiness? Happiness is an inside job. Happiness is an inside job. The discovery to finding real joy is never in changing anything out there. It comes from dropping all attachments to our opinions and beliefs about how our lives should be. The greatest discovery to finding happiness is diving in to your inner world and finding peace with all conflicts circulating inside of you. When we are no longer attached to anything or anyone in the outer world to make us happy, we take the reins back on our lives and can find pure joy inside our souls, however and wherever we are. Unleashing the immense joy inside us comes easy to those who know how to relax their body deeply and completely while maintaining in this present moment awareness. This means our bodies are relaxed, yet our minds are vigilantly alert and watching what thoughts are showing up, without us emotionally getting identified with them. Stop doing all of those things that you think will one day make you happy. Instead, practice relaxing into whatever happiness is in your body today. Try it. Relax into your heart. Surrender to the very center of your being. Breathe deeply here for a few minutes until you find an equanimity within your mind. And then, it is a law of nature that we cannot live in worry, negativity, or fear when our bodies are physically at peace. It's a law of nature. We cannot live in worry, negativity, or fear when our bodies are physically at peace. When every tiny muscle is relaxed and completely still, every concern, every fear, worry, and negative thought will have disappeared from our minds. The mind and body behave as one unit. And when our bodies are at peace, we will instantly drop any attachment we have to how our lives should be, or how our friends, family, work, money, and all those things which are responsible for making us happy. The more we can master the experience of living in a relaxed body 24 hours a day, the more impossible it becomes to getting attached to anything in the outer world for making us happy. When we start to abide in this divine infinite realm of loving energy inside of us, we will wonder why we're ever searching for it out there. We will ask ourselves, why the heck have I been searching for all of this out there when everything is within me? The day we discover this profound inner peace and the most stressful, boring, or ordinary situations in our lives, we will become a huge ball of peace, love, joy, and bliss. And the next step, sit back and watch your ego's perpetual efforting. Sit back, kick your feet up, and watch your ego's perpetual efforting. When our minds are completely stopped making any effort to resist negative thinking, release that unending push towards positive thinking, that is the same day that freedom will find us. When we can sit back and watch the mind without being involved, eventually in time, it will give up its perpetual struggle. By making the simple choice to back off from your inner thinker and step back below or behind these thoughts, you become the overriding master of your mind. It is ironic that the bliss we are all seeking is first initiated through the mind's imagination, yet is truly discovered when we let go of the mind completely. The lightest and highest feeling of bliss cannot be found by forming any one thought or belief with our minds. That would narrow and squeeze our mind's experience of this life even tighter, like caffeine does to the body, and not allow these cosmic blissful sensations the room they need to enter. True bliss is only found through divine openness and receptivity. When we are 100% free from all the ridiculous efforting of the mind, having no attachments to any agenda it forms, no attachment to any desires or disposition, we will fall into a deeply relaxed, sweet, heavenly, trusting space with life and bliss will take over us all. There are moments in everyone's life where we get a glimpse of this succulent, spacious, peaceful place inside our minds. Yet, we will notice that in this space, the mind is nowhere to be found. And we feel even more conscious, alive, aware, and awake. This is the experience of our very essence, our innermost nature. The soul that we are. The feeling is so pleasant that we don't care to form any desire or agenda, for that would create too much pain. This spacious place is where our real freedom abides. It allows us to be free of the mind moving backward or forwards in time, because when we're in bliss, we have no fears, no worries, or memory to deal with. When this grounded spaciousness finds us, we will be arriving in the beloved land of bliss. It is an experience that is meant for those who are ready and willing to be touched by the divine. Next up, practice being completely silent and still. Practice being completely silent and still. When we have fully emptied our inner container of plans, agendas, fears, worries, concerns, and positive thinking, our brain may not know what to do with itself. It will most likely try to reform some random idea to hold on to give it some stability. When our bodies are deeply relaxed and our minds are truly empty, make the golden pillar of your life total silence, stillness. When we reach the mountain peak of consciousness, everything is divinely still. These profoundly quiet moments within instantly, pave fresh new neuronal pathways in our brains for having many more blissed out experiences of this life. To arrive at a complete stillness, I will say it does take tremendous courage. To arrive at complete stillness, it takes tremendous courage. We must choose to have vigilance with mind, the strength to hold on to stillness when we cannot, and the trust to let go of the process all at the same time. By deeply trusting everything that shows up, when we do venture into the unknown empty zone of no mind, this total quiet and profound stillness will pour into us. The more time we spend in stillness, then bliss has to become our ordinary mode of operation. The more time we spend in stillness, then bliss has to become our ordinary mode of operation. The first time it happens, you may be able to handle it for a few minutes. Maybe. Yet with practice, like with anything, you'll get better at it. When you hang for a few hours in this cosmic space, it will totally alter your life and everybody else's life that you know forever in the most positive ways. As you discover that your real work here on this earth is not out there, yet finding the pathway to bliss within, all 5 of these steps will naturally unfold for you. The greatest experience of your life is being filled with bliss all day and night long. Open your mind to this possibility. Follow the 5 steps, and you'll soon find it start seeping in. The experience of complete bliss is our soul's destiny. Why make up some ridiculous reason that you don't deserve it? We are a mixture of both human and divine. And so it is our divine right to own this joyous sensation. It all connects with our vibrational frequency. We're actually vibrating. These bodies are vibrating. The gods that we are within them are vibrating. They're moving constantly. Okay? When you sleep, when the body sleeps at night, it's vibrating. Whatever you think, feel, do, whatever you say is a vibrational frequency. However you respond to anything is a vibrational frequency. You may have a passing thought. It might just come and go like lightning. Just boom, gone. But you put attention on it. You might be going through life and all of a sudden you look at something outside of yourself and you say, oh, I really want that. Well, it'd be great if I had that. And then it passes. And then later on, it goes up for you, not to you. It's for us to become very aware, and it's the choice to become very aware. What's the purpose of becoming very aware? You become aware of who and what you are. You can't do that outside of yourself. You got to go within. And what exactly is going within mean? It means that you don't judge yourself. You don't ridicule yourself. You don't come down on yourself. You're very gentle and kind with yourself, generous with yourself, humble with yourself. You practice being in deep gratitude. See, the gratitude vibrational frequency moves us into silence, stillness. And in there, we don't have a mind and an ego. It is not there. But we can watch it. We can watch the mind and ego. We can watch ourselves, how we maneuver, what we do, how we're entertained, how we're drawn outside of ourselves every single second by an illusion of ego mind. And practicing being still, you open the door to bliss. I had moments, just fleeting moments, like a flash, of bliss. We didn't really know what it was because most of us are outside of ourselves. Isn't it interesting that it is our natural state of being? Bliss is our natural state of being. Everything that's funneled through the ego mind is not our natural state of being by far. So it's almost you get yourself by choice to a point within in peace. And so the things that come along that you would normally jump into, since you're watching and not judging, you say, no, not interested in that. You kind of look at the thought on the surface, right? And then you kind of peek in and go, nah, not for me. Not interested. And then it flies away. And another thought, another thought, another thought. And then once in a while you'll say, that thought? Let me take a peek at it. Okay. That thought I'll entertain. You see how we've been tremendously misguided to seek everything outside of ourselves and nothing inside of ourselves, which means we negate the gods that we are. It isn't a bad thing. It's experience that we have. And all of us throughout lifetimes have had these experiences. Different situations, different places, different times, of course. Different body appearance, so on and so forth. And this is why we go through this life and other lives on this treadmill to get to the top, to get there. We cling, right? We have tremendous expectations. We fear when you attach yourself to something that you want, right? It's through the ego mind. You fear not getting it. Then the fear comes in. Then the fear comes in and says to you, forget it. That's never going to happen. And how many times have you said this to yourself, or have you witnessed others saying it? Oh, that's not going to happen. Can't believe I even thought it would happen. Suffering, frustration, because they had attachments to the outcome of it. And it's kind of confusing. Because the reason we talk so much about manifesting and the ego mind is because they're the prime elements to master. Now you can say to yourself, well, I want this. Okay? I want it, but you don't attach anything. You don't say, okay, I want it on this time and date. This is how I want it to take place. And then the attachments you have is the outcome, and already the expectations of what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. And you see how the ego mind gets us so entangled with all of this, it becomes like all goopy and sticky. And then you see some people, maybe yourself in this life at one time or another, where you just kind of throw your hands up in the air and say the heck with it, right? And some people will say it's not the end of the world if they don't get it. But it's within us, is where the flow of abundance comes to us. When we let go, we intend as if it's already happened. That's it. Okay? And we don't have attachments to anything. The reason we don't is because we have the confidence in ourselves and the universe, the trust and the faith, that it's already forming. It's already coming in. And it may take a few years, see, because it's not the right time for it to happen. And a lot of us don't understand that because we think through the ego mind that, hey, I want this to happen, it's got to happen. Whatever it may be. And it doesn't happen. And then we say to ourselves, well, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's being unattached. It's not being negative. It's not being what you don't want. It's actually reinforcing the fact that, hey, I know it's going to happen. I just don't know when, and that's fine with me. It's in the universe's hands. Okay? It bubbles back up through the ego mind at times, and then you say the same thing. We don't get worried, stressful, and fearful by going within. We get worried, stressful, and fearful by going without. That's the difference between the two. Now, when we recognize this, we say to ourselves, okay, so I know, and I've experienced many times that going outside of myself is where the pain and suffering is, the disappointment. Not that you don't experience, some happiness and stuff, but that's where the pain and suffering is, outside of ourselves. That's where we really never get the answers that we seek. We'll get answers for the ego mind. But then we say, I'm going to go within. I'm going to practice this. Like I've practiced for generations and lifetimes going outside of myself. Now, I'm going to go within. I'm going to see what's up with all this hoopla of going within oneself. Is this just all spiritual gobbledygook, new age crap? Or is there something to it? And we're all curious, right? We're all curious. So we start saying, in the event that I choose to go within, my decision to go within is permanent. It isn't temporary. It's a permanent thing, just like how we have had many lifetimes and permanency of outside of ourselves. The habit. We all get the habit of doing it. And then, the ego mind says, going within yourself is boring. You don't care to do that. It's boring. What are you going to do inside yourself? Look at how exciting it is outside yourself. Okay? And you say, yeah, you know what, though? I've done that. Been there, done that. I've experienced disappointment, pain, suffering, worrying, fearing, stressing. I've experienced all that many times. I know what it is. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to experience it. Now, my desire is to experience within. Now, all of you that listening to that participate in these meditations live, you got to understand something. There is a frequency that is bathing all of you the whole time you're engaged in these guided meditations. It is literally saturating and permeating every cell, every molecule, inside and out, head to toe. The whole time you're in these meditations. This is why some people fall asleep, because they've never really had the opportunity to relax their body in that way. And they experience how tired their physical bodies are by living with the ego mind, worrying, stressing, and fearing. And it takes its toll on our biological vessels. It takes its toll. And the ego mind thrusts us in, then we have issues, and then we start worrying, stressing, and fearing about the issues. See, it's a never-ending road with the ego mind. Never-ending. And see, we come full circle. We eventually come full circle as a species, a civilization, say, you know, I'm not interested in going outside of myself anymore. I know everything out there. I can watch and see. You know, I know the rat race. I know how it operates. I'm not judging it, but I've been in it for quite some time, off and on, lifetime after lifetime. I really don't care to be in it anymore. And you say that vibration, you really don't care to be in it, because if you say, I don't want to be in it, you're focusing on what you don't want. You see? Every time you state to yourself, I don't want this, or I don't want that, I don't want this to happen, I don't want that to happen, and by focusing on what you don't want, you're going to get from the universe. Because you're focused on it. It's the same thing. You say, I don't care to have this happen. I don't care to be involved with this. I don't care to do this. By saying I don't care to, you are not saying and focusing on what you don't want. And those are all vibrational frequencies that you send out to the universe. So it's a choice, guys, for all of us, because we are the key to assisting this civilization. And there's many in our civilizations that we're aware of that we don't judge, that we love deeply and dearly because of the gods within them, that we can assist if we choose to. I'm not talking about convincing somebody, selling somebody on you, how you feel and how you see things, but focusing light energy. You don't lose any energy, by the way. You're focusing your light energy on them. And if you're in the habit of praying, you're praying to yourself, the God that you are within that body. Pray to your God that you are for them. Now, to the minority of us, this is the epitome of all the lifetimes we've experienced coming to this planet for this very time, this very moment of complete emancipation, complete transcendence, freeing ourselves from the bondage of ego mind. That's what this is about. And as we continue to focus on ourselves within us, right? Surrendering, forgiving ourselves for whatever. Kind of like cleaning house. And then what our viewpoint is, it's not judgment, it's that all this time, the power within us, the gods that we are so omnipotently, supremely powerful that we just literally focusing on what we want for the planet, for the civilization. That energy begins to move into form, is created into reality, and we experience it. That's the power. That's the omnipotent, immeasurable power that we're just discovering. In other words, there'll be no bombs on the planet. There'll be no pain and suffering. There won't be stress, worry, fear, because we won't be in the ego mind. We will be in the heart mind, the God. We don't care to have this planet polluted any longer. Now, it's not out of anger at all. It's out of love, deep eternal love and bliss. We don't care to have these things anymore. These are things that we've manifested collectively. We don't care to have them anymore. And no matter what your ego mind tries to convince you that you're powerless, or you're insignificant, or you're undeserving, remember that's the ego mind. And it's a lie. It's an illusion. This is how this planet and this civilization is going to transcend. Period. No conflicts, no bombs, no murder, death, kill, all the stuff in the 3D goop is over for many. Those that don't get it will incarnate into another life and see if they can get it then. It's looked upon as this unfathomable, by some never attainable, which is another ego mind illusion. So we have this within us, and we've always had it within us. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still and silent. You are awake. Each moment there is an awake, aware energy here, now. Know that this cannot change. Rest deeply in this now, knowingness, and it will create a transformation in your being. It is exactly what you will need today for transcending your very next unconscious, momentary lapse of mental jargon. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here January 16th, 2023, 3 p.m. Eastern to continue, Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, loving, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. And stay in deep gratitude, no matter what.